Welcome back. Hey D, welcome.
Hey,
Thanks for
hello.
joining. We're glad to see you made it. Glad to see you grace us with your presence, my G. I'm just saying.
I swear you always do it the most.
We ain't seen you in about a month.
I don't know why not. I'm here.
We ain't
I'm
seen
always
you in
here.
about a month.
I'm always here.
Mm.
Always.
We ain't seen you in about a butt. That's been a long,
Always.
long time.
Always here.
I'm
Always.
gonna call you after this. What's going on, KD? Thanks for joining. We ain't
Always
seen you
here.
in a minute. We ain't seen you about as long as we ain't seen D.
Always here. Always.
It's a long time.
Always here. Me. I am always here. Last week our show was supposed to be like 30 minutes.
It was.
No, it
It
was not.
was. It was
No,
30
absolutely
it was 30 minutes and
a lot of seconds.
it was 30
Uh,
minutes
in a
and
lot of
and
seconds.
and 2-hour blocks. Okay? I didn't say which block. All right.
forevertryingit.com.
No, I was giving you the real.
I am Dion, and that is Tamika, and we are Women in Linux.
We're over that. We don't need intros anymore. We don't do intros anymore.
Yes, we do. Not everybody knows who we are.
Put the name up. They'll know that. Just put the name. There you go. Hopefully we have people reading past the 6th grade over here on this show.
Terrible.
I'm not terrible. That's for real. That's trill. Ben Hill, Cameron Road. Gonna do something with it. Gonna do something with it. Ghetto, 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 ghetto. Got one for in, one for out of the ghetto. Ghetto, 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 ghetto. Ben Hill, Ben Trill.
I'm not gonna do it with you.
And
I'm
we
not gonna do it with you.
why?
Absolutely not.
Why? You
That's not
can't
even your
represent the
time.
A?
That's not even your side of town.
You can't represent the A?
That's not even your side of town.
But you can't represent the A? You too good for a little goody mob?
That's East Point.
I didn't ask you that. I said you too good for a little goody mob?
Sometimes,
Mm.
if you know what I know.
You're a little too good for goody mob. You see how they do? That's what them transplants do.
Hey,
Old
I'm a Cali
transplant,
girl.
old transplant Atlanteans. If that link was on what you call it, yeah, it probably didn't work. So Heather, oh let me see. Let me see something. Oh, I had to go over here. Hold on. We at 3,800. We should be at more, but we're lazy. Should be at more. Hold on. Heather, you are now moderator. Heather Heather has privileges on the show now. Heather can help out. Yeah, it times out after 30 days for that Slack. I have to post another one. Ooh-wee. Are you ready for tonight's show?
Yeah, I'm ready to be awed and amazed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, how we want to start tonight? Do we want to start controversial, or do we want to start with money? What we want to do?
You said money or controversial?
Mm,
Hmm. Money or controversial?
I'm going with controversial.
I don't know. This is how we Linux. Is it like on that line or no?
I mean, no, it's not on that line, but it can be. Let's get
Okay.
started.
Well, wow and amaze me.
Let's
I'm
get
ready to
started.
be.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. The new bicameral bill seeks cyber upgrades for USD SNAP food benefit cards. Tens of
USDA.
millions, yep, tens of ten of millions of dollars have been stolen from the supplemental nutrition assistance program cards, which would be switched from magnetic strips to secure strips under the bipartisan legislation. Here they're showing SNAP EBTs do's and don'ts. Customers must always be present with his or her EBT card, his or her. Let me read that again, his or her, right? The customer must always enter his or her own PIN. Always give the customer the EBT receipt when the transaction is finished. Do not exchange cash for SNAP benefits. Do not accept SNAP benefits EBT as payment or on credit accounts. Do not collect sales tax. Do not set a minimum purchase amount or add a surcharge. The Department of Agriculture will be taxed with making cybersecurity upgrades to its SNAP under the new bipartisan bicameral legislation that aims to stop fraudsters who have already stolen tens of millions of dollars for the electric food benefits card. So if you want to work on SNAP, you can go work for the Department of Agriculture. The Department of Agriculture. The enhanced cybersecurity for the SNAP Act, introduced by Senator Ron Wade, a Democrat from Oregon, and a list of others. I'm not going to read all those folks. Will require the USD to update security protections of SNAP cards, switching from easily clonable magnetic strips to secure chips, among other measures. Right? Among other measures. And then I have another one. It was the same one. I thought I had another one there, but guess not. I'm looking. All right. So within 2 years of the adoption of the USDA new regulation, states will issue the new chip enabled cards, and within 4 years, no SNAP cards with magnetic strips can be issued. Within 5 years, magnetic strips will be substituted entirely by states with chip only cards. Additionally, USDA will be charged with overseeing a grant program that offers funds for chips reading payment machines to small grocers and food deserts, as well as to farmer markets and farm to consumer programs. Right. So let your folks know they're getting ready to change out the SNAP. They're getting ready to change out the SNAP program. All right. So on Saturday, Evelyn went and found the article or the situation in which I was talking about. The guy from Singapore. We were right. Where he is talking about the whole initiative to get people in for artificial intelligence. It's 4 minutes long. It's gonna lead into other topics that I want to discuss, but let's listen to this up front up first, and then we can discuss, and then we're about to get to the money today. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring this over. Oop, not bring that over. I'm bring this over because you can't hear on that one, and I know why. So, but I gotta fix that. Let me turn that up, and then I'm gonna turn this down, and then I'm gonna bring this over. I'm going to make this widescreen. I am going to take out my mic, which is then going to go to. I am going to unmute, and I'll put my headphones on back after this. But let's get the sound up. We are, and we should have some. I don't know why it spun out like that.
We
All right,
aren't
let's go.
getting anything.
On artificial intelligence, less than 2 weeks ago, just before Budget 2024, the announcement by DPM Lawrence Wong, our finance minister, there was another announcement halfway across the world from Singapore. A tech company which is already changing the world, a tech company called OpenAI, which brought you ChatGPT not too long ago. That company announced a new platform, a new AI platform called Sora. Sora allows you to key in text, type in some text, a prompt, and it can produce videos which are indistinguishable from what Hollywood can produce today and what smaller studios can produce. Just 1 year ago, during the debate on the President's address in April 2023, I'd spoken in Parliament about the age of AI and how fast things were changing, how software like ChatGPT, GPT-4, Midjourney 5 had appeared on the market within less than a year or so. AI which can hold a conversation with you, can write an essay for you, that's ChatGPT. AI which can take high school exams, advanced placement exams in the United States curriculum and outperform many humans, that's GPT-4. AI which can create photorealistic pictures of events that never happened, that's Midjourney 5. Just 1 year ago, I had spoken about how, with increases in computing power, once you go from generating one make-believe image to 30 images a second, you go from AI-generated photos to AI-generated videos. At the time, April 2023, I'd expected the technology to take another 2 to 3 years. As it happened, it took place faster than I imagined. Within 10 months, OpenAI had announced the Sora platform to produce AI-generated video. So that's the world today. Technology disruption happening very quickly. New challenges everywhere. The unexpected, increasingly the norm.
All right, I'm gonna pause right there. Why is this important? It's not because it's open AI. That's one thing. It's the next announcement that he's going to make, but there's one other thing. Singapore is one of the other countries where they have produced the most billionaires. So what does that mean? That means they got money to throw behind projects. That means they got money to throw behind any research and development. So when I tell y'all to get skills, because you're in a global competitive market, and I'm getting ready to show you how global it is, you need to understand that I'm not just telling you get one skill and stop. I'm telling you stack your skills and be able to do whatever it is that you want to, but follow the money. Follow where the money is going. And just for you today, because I like you today. Because I like you today. I am going to show you where the latest money is going. just to get you going. So let's get back to it. But keep in mind, Singapore is one of those places, like Switzerland, like all the other places where they're producing the most billionaires. Monaco is one, but never mind. I ain't gonna keep lecturing. Let's go.
And so we can't hide from these changes. No country, no economy can hide from these changes in the world with AI. Even if an entire country tries to prevent AI from entering its borders, other economies will do so. Your competitors will do so. So we have to accept the world as it is, the way the world is going to be, and look after, support, empower, uplift our people.
So key phrase he said there, right? How he put that in. He said we have to accept the world as it is. We ain't going back to the 50s. We ain't going back to the 60s. We got to accept the world for where it's at. It is inevitable. Ladies and gents and fellas out there that's in the trucking industry, listen, I think your time may not come in the next 10 years. Well, I'll say the next 5 to 7 years. But I do think there's a time limit on that. As AI, and now we have, and if you're not paying attention to it, the humanoid robots, like you got to pay attention to that, because they're going to train those humanoid robots to with AI to do whatever task that they need to do, whether that's stand there and guard security, physical security, standing someplace and guarding something. I don't see security in the bank. I see that going away. I see banks going away too. We already seen that in some of the banks. There are no tellers in banks. They sit in a desk at a remote place, and you go pick up a phone. It's over. If you got basic standard skills and think you're gonna flip burgers, think you're gonna go into Wendy's and McDonald's, you think you're gonna be working at Popeyes, all this, that's over. I even say it's over for some restaurants. I even say it's over for some restaurants. You're gonna see a collapse of chains. I wouldn't be surprised if Darden restaurants collapse and change their model. And instead of having what do they have? They have Red Lobster and Olive Garden, right? Aren't those both Darden restaurants? I think they're both Darden. Let's go look at Darden. I'll tell you in a minute. Let's go look at Darden restaurants. Let's see who's on their list. Is Red Lobster no longer a part in Darden? Darden, the parent company for Red Lobster, sold Red Lobster chain in 2014. They sold them in 2014. So who are on the Darden's restaurants? All right, so the Darden restaurants are Ruth Chris Steakhouse, Eddie V's, and Capital Grill. And then the other ones are Longhorn, Olive Garden, Bahama Breeze, Seasons 52, Yard House, and Cheddar Scratch Kitchen. They sold Red Lobster in 2018. Darden has more than 1,800 restaurant locations throughout the United States, and they employ 175,000 people. They employ 175,000 people, making it the world's largest full service restaurant company. I think trucking is fine for right now. I don't think trucking is going to last forever. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think trucking is going to last forever. I think trucking has has an issue, and this is what I just been asking random people. It has an issue with maintaining the longevity of people. Like, again, I just don't see, and I don't know, and I could be wrong. I have never met a retired truck driver. I met somebody who's switched positions in trucking, but I've never met somebody say I'm 65 and I've been doing this for 40 years at the same company and I'm coming off the road. They switch positions. They don't like to be a electrical engineer. You'll be an electrical engineer all your life. You may have different positions but you centered around the same thing. I just normally don't see that. And then you correct me if I'm wrong.
When I think about it, I don't know of any retired truck drivers in the sense of like long haul across the country. Now, if it's like,
D, we can't.
you can't hear me? Hello? Looks like you are stuck. Hmm.
I have no idea what's going on. Are you getting shorted?
Yeah, you were just on pause. I'm
I
telling
have
you, ever
no idea
since we
what's going on.
upgraded the internet, I don't know. It's glitch in the matrix. But like I said, as far as like long haul truckers, not to my recollection of knowing anybody personally that has retired from that field. But like, when it comes to trucking, when it comes to like local deliveries or
Mhm.
local runs or like dump trucks or
Yeah,
carriers,
those people stick around.
that's what they usually go to after driving, such a long distance for a while, or they might go to tow trucks, recovery, or the business side, brokering, trucking stuff, or dispatching in the trucking industry.
So, fun fact here: William Darden opened his first restaurant called the Green Frog in Waycross, Georgia, in 1938. At the age of 19, he later on founded the Red Lobster Inns of America. Red Lobster used to be an inn, like the Red Roof. And later on, he opened up the first Red Lobster restaurant in Lakeland, Florida, in 1968. Fun fact:
Hmm.
he
Cheddar
died in
biscuits are still changing.
1994, age 75.
Mm.
And then he went on. He went on to work at General Mills.
Hmm.
It's a long list. So now you know where Darden comes from. It said the markets were so oversaturated in 1997, forcing Darden to close 48 poorly performing locations and lose about 91 million due to restructuring. Red Lobster and Olive Garden were given makeovers in 1998, and Darden made a profit of $102 million in a year. How much did he make from selling Red Lobster? It says in December 19th of 2013, Darden announced plans to sell or spin off uh, Red Lobster brand, citing pressure from stock investors. This was the direct response to the company spending $100 million on this new digital platform. It says in 2014, he he announced that he was selling Red Lobster seafood chain to Golden Gate Capital for how much? How much you think he sold it for, D?
Millions.
He sold it for $2.1 billion.
Of millions of millions. Where the kids
2.1
at?
billion.
Who the kids? Where's the kids?
2.1 billion. That's how
Tell us
much
about the
Grandmaster got
kids.
sold for in 2014. I don't know. You have to look up the Darden kids. You have to go look them up. It don't have who his kids are in here. But there's a Darden brand book. I'm gonna read that tonight. I'm gonna read the Darden brand book. That should be interesting. All right, let's finish off the video.
And this is why the new subsidy for Singaporeans aged
Hold
40
on,
and
let
above
me turn my volume back up. Let's start right there.
higher education. This
Age 40 and above needs to pursue a higher education degree. Why did he pick age 40 and above? Why? Why was age 40 and above chosen? There's a reason for that. Because they're the ones that need the new skills. One. Two, those people show probably more stability than the other sector. And three, they're the ones that probably need help with retirement too, more than likely, right? I'm not sure about in their economy. Who knows?
And they're still in the workforce.
Correct.
They're still in the workforce with skills, and not only that, they're in leadership positions.
Yep.
subsidy in the budget, that's why it's so important, because it recognizes that in a world that's changing so quickly, what you learn in school, in education at age 20, may have changed, transformed, been replaced by a new world by the time you're age 40. It recognizes that change and supports middle-aged and older workers. And having mid-career workers learning new skills alongside younger workers, a middle-aged, mid-career worker alongside someone who's 18, 19, 20 plus years old, learning together, that will also transform the education experience in our institutes of higher learning. Because older workers bring life experience, life skills, living wisdom into the classroom. Even as they bring that into the classroom, they also learn new skills together with the younger students. And these students, by working with each other, they even lift up one another. It will transform the classroom, even as it allows the older and younger workers to form new friendships, new networks, and new opportunities together.
All right, that's AI.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that.
All right, so why did I bring that up? Ho, ho, ho. First things first, AI Talk at the Waldorf Astoria in Washington, D.C. Coming 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on April the 18th. Switching back over to my headphones.
We can hear you.
All right. So that's one announcement. And you can go through and check out the speakers for this here. We have the speakers Ted Lieu, Olivia Zhu, Dr. Kelly Fletcher, and the list goes on. I think you can do this. It may be a virtual as well too. You may want to check to see if it is virtual as well too. So just something to think about there. Am I paused again?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure I ain't paused again. All right, cool. All right. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so we're gonna talk about some AI. We're gonna talk about some budgets tonight. We're gonna get busy. All right, so here where the jobs are for February of 2024. Um, this came out March the 8th, and the largest place where we saw the biggest increase was in healthcare and social assistance. And saw that the Bureau of Labor Statistics saw 90,000 jobs being put out there, 90,700 jobs being put out there. It's coming in blurry on the other side. Let me double verify. Is it blurry for y'all? Because I'm showing blurry. Now it's a little clear. Just making sure it's not blurry.
No, it's looks good on my end.
Okay. All right. Leisure and hospitality saw a robust growth of 58,000 jobs. So what we saw so far, and let me blow that up a little bit. U.S. market showed continuing strength for February. Board job creation of 275,000 jobs, with one sector leading the charge. That's healthcare and social assistance gains of 90,000, 91,000 jobs basically. The sector got a boost from sharp gains in hospital and ambulatory healthcare services, which added 28,000 jobs and 27,700 jobs. So here is where the jobs are at right now: healthcare and social assistance, 58K, with leisure and hospitality, government at 52. It did not break down whether that government is federal or city or state. Transportation and warehousing, retail trade, utilities, information, financial activities, mining and logging, no. Manufacturing took a minus dive. Wholesale and trade took a minus dive, right? Here where it talks about an increase of 42,000 for food services and drinking places, transportation and warehouse roles by about 19,000. Courier and messenger accounted for 17,000 after declining 70,000 jobs prior to in the prior 3 months. Manufacturing dropped 4,000 jobs. The chief Julia Pollock, chief economist at ZipRecruiter, said the strong year-over-year wage growth number was positive spot in the report. All right, so that's jobs. Now I want to talk about not this, but this. I don't know if y'all saw this. Ex-CIA officer gets 40-year sentence for leaking agencies' information. He got 40 years.
That's a long time.
Tommy Tuberville, Republican. Let's see, the Democrats said that the biggest leak ever by an ex-employee, a 40-year sentence. Exactly when federal employees first get health care coverage may soon, blah, blah, blah. That's not it. Oh, I guess I got to go listen to this video. I don't want to listen to this video. But you all can go check it out. This is benefits. This time about benefits. I was hoping they had a here it is. An ex-CIA officer has been sentenced to 40 years in prison, the biggest leak in history. Joshua Adam Schultz, 35, was sentenced last week for crimes including espionage, computer hacking, contempt of court, making false statements to the FBI, and child pornography. Schultz was a software developer in the CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence. He was accused of sharing classified information about the CIA hacking operations to WikiLeaks, leading to the so-called Vault 7 leaks in 2017. So he was sentenced to 40 years. Now, that's one thing. Let's go over here, and I'm gonna play this video. Because I just actually finished watching this video. Let me switch over to my other account. And let me go to my history because I thought it was quite interesting. Let's see. All right, yeah, right here. All right, let me pull up my other joint and let's get this going. Let me take this out. Volume should be up. Make sure y'all got that. Yep, we're good. And let's go here.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
That's
I
not
beg
what
to
I
move
want.
that Parliament approve the financial policy of the
That's not what I want.
And a Chinese national arrested in the Bay Area for allegedly stealing confidential trade secrets from Google.
This is KTVU Fox 2 News at 7:30.
And that man was living in the East Bay and had worked for Google as a software engineer. Now, that arrest tops the news at 7:30 tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Holmes. We got a look today at the federal indictment. Our Crystal Bailey is here now. And Crystal, the confidential information pertained to one of Google's core businesses.
That's right. The indictment released this morning says the Google employee allegedly stole more than 500 confidential files surrounding the development of artificial intelligence and replicated the information at 2 Chinese companies. The FBI arrested 38-year-old Lin Wei Ding, known as Leon, Wednesday morning from his home in Newark. Ding, a Chinese citizen, started working as a software engineer at Google in 2019.
I ain't never met a Chinese Leon. That's first off.
They picked their own name.
Leon, a Chinese man named Leon.
That's his name,
Let's go.
Leon. I don't see what's the problem.
Stealing artificial intelligence related software. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, during a visit to San Francisco, shared the U.S. leads in AI technology, saying it's important for our economy and national security.
The Justice Department's first job is to protect that lead and to protect our intellectual properties.
The indictment says that in May of 2022, Ding periodically began uploading trade secrets stored in Google's network by copying the information to a personal Google Cloud account.
The charge is further that he stole this intellectual property while he was working for 2 companies based in the People's Republic of China.
While at Google, the indictment says Ding simultaneously worked for a Chinese tech startup where he acted as chief technology officer and a company he founded and operated himself out of China.
One of the company's explicit goals was to replicate and upgrade Google's platform, the same platform about which Ding had stolen Google's trade secrets.
Ding is also accused of traveling to China to do business deals while he was a Google employee and covering up his crimes.
The Justice Department just will not tolerate theft of our trade secrets in the area of artificial intelligence.
In a statement from Google, their spokesperson told us, "We have strict safeguards to prevent the theft of our confidential commercial information and trade secrets." Going on to say, "We quickly referred the case to law enforcement. We are grateful to the FBI for helping protect our information and will continue cooperating with them closely." And Ding was charged with 4 counts of theft of trade secrets. And if convicted on all of those counts, he could face 40 years in prison and a $1 million fine. And federal investigators say they take this kind of crime very seriously. They're working closely with companies here in Silicon Valley to protect intellectual property.
And they're gonna get him, they're gonna get that 40 years, and they're gonna get that $1 million from him.
Damn, Ding. He went in there trying to be covert. Got caught up.
All right. So there's a webinar coming up for Catch Me If You Can. The Race to Detect and Prevent Cloud Misconfigurations. This is sponsored by the Linux Foundation. This is on the 13th. You can join. It is sponsored by Outshift by Cisco. If you want to take a look at that, you can go to. My suggestion is to go to CNCF, and they have a listing of all their webinars that are coming up. Hyperledger, if you want to learn about blockchain, if you want to harnessing permission blockchains for cybersecurity, compliance in healthcare and data management. Ethereum, if you want to learn about kernel CI, how to get your kernel updated in a CI/CD platform, things of that nature. On demand webinars that already have taken place, you can go there and check that out. I would say check this out right here: Kubernetes outside the box, gaining visibility into the whole platform with Crossplane. Right. I would take a look at that and get some familiarity with some of these technologies, even if you don't play with them every day. At least know what they are, so you can be a part of the conversation. And as you start to become more and more a part of the conversations, you'll start realizing that you're just learning along the way. Right? You're just going to learn along the way. Right? So let's get into it. Fact sheet. The president's budget for the fiscal year 2025. Why am I talking about this? Because you need to know where money is going. You need to know how money flows. Why? Because when you start knowing how money flows, you start understanding how companies get their money and who has the jobs, who has the contracts, who has the ability to hire you, who has the ability to do whatever you need to do, and go from there. All right, so let's hop down here. Since President Biden took office, the economy has added 15 million jobs. The employment rate has remained below 4% for 2 years in a row, a more than 50-year record, while inflation has fallen 2/3. Our strong labor market has meant higher paychecks for working Americans, so forth or so on, blah, 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 blah. All right, the deficit is over 1 trillion, lower than when the president took office, so forth and so on, blah, 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 blah. Right? The budget details the president's vision to protect and build on the administration's progress by continuing to lower costs for working families and protect and strengthen Social Security. One of the things that you would know, Social Security is a trust fund. Social Security is a trust fund. And I'm not sure if Medicare is. It may be a trust fund too. Invest in America and the American people to make the middle class, to make sure the middle class has a fair shot. We leave no one behind and reduce the deficit by cracking down on fraud. And that's what you saw today when I was talking about the SNAP situation, and cutting wasteful spending and making wealthy and corporations pay their fair share. President building on the president's record of fiscal responsibility, his budget reduces the deficit by 3 trillion over the next 10 years on top of the new investments. Okay, lower costs for the American people. That's one thing. Cut the taxes for the families and the children and the American workers. Lower childcare costs for hardworking families, and increase affordable housing supply to reduce housing costs. Expand home ownership and affordable rent, and reducing down payments for first-time and first-generation buyers. That would be probably more than likely people of color. Reducing the cost of college and lift the burden of student debt. You can see here, including a new class to career fund that would enable students to move to more affordably obtain post-secondary degrees by increasing access to career-connected dual enrollment opportunities. The budget also builds on the president's historic actions to reduce student debt and costs by eliminating cost of college by eliminating the origination fees charged to borrowers on every federal student loan, which costs families billions. In addition, to help low and middle income students overcome financial burdens to post-secondary education, the budget proposes to increase the discretionary maximum Pell Grant by $100 and thereby expand the reach of the program to over 7.2 million students attend a public or non-for-profit college, right? Here it also says the budget also expands free community college through a federal state partnership and provides 2 years of subsidized tuition for students from families earning less than 125,000 enrolled in a historically black college at HBCU, a tribally controlled college, a university TCCU, or a minority serving institution, an MSI, right? Again, we're talking about free community college. And I don't know why people don't want to go to community college and get the free stuff first. Get your general ed, get a cert. You get all your certs out of the community
It'd be
college.
your first degree. You still
Get-
get it. It's a degree program.
Get your certs out of the community college. Get all your general ed done in the community college, and then go forward.
I got an AA. I went to community college first.
And then they go on to talk about Social Security and Medicare and so forth and so on. Okay. Here's the other part. Requires billionaires to pay at least 25% of income taxes. I'm not there. I'm not worried about that. Raise taxes for large corporations. Crack down on tax avoidance by large multinationals and big pharma. And you can go read all of this on his page. Denies corporation deductions for all compensation over $1 million per employee. Ends capital income tax brackets and other loopholes for very wealthy. The president will end one of the most unfair aspects of our tax system. The fact that the tax rate that the wealthy pay on capital gains and dividends is less than the tax rate that many middle class families pay on their wages. Making households making over $1 million, the top 0.3% of all households would pay the same 39.6 marginal rate on their income, just like the high paid workers on their wages. Moreover, the budget eliminates the loophole that allows the wealthiest Americans to entirely escape paying taxes on their wealth by paying it down to their heirs. So I wonder if that's on the trust. Tax cheats. They're going after tax cheats here. This is why a lot of wealthy people want to get him out of there. Health equity and family planning saves lives by advancing behavioral health care, so forth and so on. All right, cool. We can go on with this right here. 78.4 billion in highway and highway safety. 9.5 billion in advance appropriations provided by the bipartisan infrastructure law for bridge replacement and rehabilitation. Paid and family medical leave. Empowers, protects, and invests in workers. The Worker Power America Economic Prosperity, building the economy from the middle out and bottom up to ensure workers are treated with dignity and respect in the workplace and are paid wages they are owed. The budget invests $2 billion in the Department of Labor's worker protection agencies. The budget also proposes funding to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to support implementation and enforcement of Pregnant Workers Fairness Acts and advance of pay equity through the collection and analysis of employer pay data. Additionally, the budget includes funding to strengthen the National Labor Relations Board's capacity to enforce workers' rights to organize and collectively bargain for better wages and working conditions. Clean energy, we're going to clean air, which is sustainability. So here we go. We're getting ready to go into it. So now create jobs by building clean energy infrastructure. The budget invests in $1.6 billion through the Department of Energy to support clean energy workforce and infrastructure projects across the nation, including funding to weatherize and retrofit homes of low income Americans, create jobs, and ensure reliable supply chains by manufacturing clean energy components here at home, electrify tribal homes, and transition tribal colleges and universities to renewable energies, and support utilities and state and local governments in the building of a grid that is more secure, reliable, resilient, and able to integrate electricity from clean energy sources. These investments, which complement and bolster the historic funding into the bipartisan infrastructure law, right? Again, 1.6 billion going into the Department of Energy to create jobs. So if you hear create jobs, where should you be looking at for jobs? What you think, D?
I
You
need
should
to
be, you
go
should be
ahead.
looking at Department of Energy.
No. I wanted to hear what the people looking at the live were gonna say.
Oh, building on the national climate resilience framework, the budget invests 23 billion in climate adaptation and resilience across the federal government to address the increasing severity of flood, wildfire, drought, and other extreme weather events fueled by climate change. Who works with climate change? Who would you be going to work with? Probably NOAA, NASA, i- Department of Agriculture, those places. They're going to have jobs, right? So let's keep going. The budget also provides funding to farmers, ranchers, forest land owners, meet production goals in the face of changing climate while conserving and maintaining and restoring natural resources on their lands. The budget complements the historic bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act, which would dedicate more than $50 billion across the federal government to advance climate resilient strategies in every community in America.
Still boils down to government jobs
I don't
in
think they
all
hear.
sectors. I mean, it's just, I mean, we can shout out all of these agencies like back to back to back. At the end
But
of the
but that's
day,
the point. I want to get all the agencies out back to back to back to back
yeah,
so
like
you can
it's
hear.
still government jobs in any industry that you may be interested in. Like, there's really no excuse.
All right. Beyond leading by example through domestic investments, the budget provides a path to achieving the president's $11 billion commitment to international climate finance. The budget supports $3 billion contribution through the mandatory funding to finance the Green Climate Fund. Go look at the Green Climate Fund. What companies are in the Green Climate Fund? What are they looking for in the Green Climate Fund? The budget builds on the historic international climate finance progress made over the course of this administration, in which in 2023 levels of 9.5 billion represent a near six-fold increase from 2021. Invest in America's families. The budget provides 8.5 billion in critical nutrition programs, including 7.7 to fully fund the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, WIC, to serve all eligible participants, which is critical to the health of the pregnant women, new mothers, infants, and young children. By investing in outreach and modernization, WIC would reach out to 800,000 more women, infants, and children each month, providing nutritional assistance to nearly 7 million individuals, up from 6.2. Okay, pre-K and Head Start. Pre-K and Head Start. The budget also increases the Head Start funding by 544 million to support the administration goal to reach pay parity between Head Start staff and public public elementary school teachers with similar qualifications. Together, the proposal will support healthy child development and so forth. Advances in homelessness, it looks like that's going to be $3 billion in funding grants to provide counseling and emergency rental assistance to older adult rentals at the risk of homelessness. Sounds like real estate to me. Sounds like buying some property to me. Sounds like getting with your local government and maybe even state to find that out. All right. Department of Interior. They're getting a $4.6 billion budget. Incorporating feedback from tribal consultations, the budget continues to provide robust support for tribal nations and native communities in keeping our federal trust and treaty responsibilities. For example, the budget invests in $4.6 billion to the Department of Interior tribal programs. This investment in DOI's tribal programs built on historic investments in the Indian country under the American Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act, and bipartisan infrastructure law. Expands access to capital for small businesses. The SBA, they're getting over $58 billion in lending provided in a budget that would address the need for greater access to affordable capital, particularly in underserved communities. The budget proposes a direct 7A lending program, which will further enable SBA to address the gaps. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go see Eric Coffey. Go look up what 7A is. Go look up what SBA is, Small Business Administration. All right. Promotes equity in education and builds a diverse capable STEM workforce. The budget increases the institutional capacity of HBCUs, TCCUs, and MSIs. And it says it doubles the funding by providing $100 million to HBCUs, TCCUs, and MSIs to expand research and development infrastructure. In support of the CHIPS and Science Act priority of building a diverse STEM capable workforce, the budget provides $1.4 billion in STEM education and workforce development programs at the NSF, National Science Foundation, that has emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility. Right? We got work on immigration and borders. All right, $13.6 billion. You don't think they use AI? You don't think they use technology? You're crazy, right? $13.6 billion. All right, we're talking about tackling gun violence. They're adding $17.7 billion to the Department of Justice and Law Enforcement, including $2 billion, an increase of over 30% since 2022. So anything with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They're also throwing in $31.8 billion for tribal law under that, and also they're planning $270 million for cops hiring program, $100 million for community violence intervention and prevention. The budget is also upon Safer American plan by investing $1.2 billion over 5 years to launch a new violent crime reduction and prevention fund. They want to hire 4,700 detectives. You yawning, D?
No, my mouth
You
is
breathe.
closed.
I keep hearing 4,700 detectives to help drive the high rate of unsolved violent crimes. In support of violent crimes, the budget also requests $7.3 billion to replenish, reform, and the Crime Victims Fund to ensure stable, predictable, blah blah blah. Prioritizes efforts on in gender-based violence. Money there combats narcotic and trafficking, and the list goes on and on and on. So here provides life-saving humanitarian assistance and combats global food insecurity, $10.3 billion. So I don't know if you didn't pay attention, but That's where the money is going. To even dive even further into this, me as your friendly friend and resource went and did a little digging. I did a little digging. Now why I can't close these? I don't know why. All right. Let's go. All right. All right. All right. All right. This dealing with the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy has requested 51 billion in discretionary budget authority for 2025, 3.6 billion dollar increase from 2023 level, making the United States leading the nation for investing in clean energy. Again, we're 1.6 billion in for workforce and infrastructure projects. If you're wondering about that, again, clean energy communities, whether they are minority or whatever, that's what they're looking for. Build a clean energy innovation pipeline, 8.5 billion across DOE to support researchers and entrepreneurs transform innovations into commercial clean energy products in areas such as offshore wind, industrial heat, sustainable aviation fuel, and grid infrastructure. Across the DOE, the budget provides 325 million for research, development, and demonstration of technologies. What do you demonstrate technologies on, and how do you do it? Right? Investing in foundational research and laboratory infrastructure to support innovation across multiple disciplines from AI and advanced computing to nuclear fusion and microelectronics. Who you think out of those stocks is going to get out of those ETFs we talked about this weekend? What company dealt with nuclear fusion and so forth? Who do you think is going to get some of this money? Right? The budget provides an investment of $8.6 billion for Office of Science, advancing toward the authorized levels in CHIPS and Science Act to support the cutting edge of research of DOE's national laboratories and advance an academic private sector. If your kids are not studying math, they need to study math. You need to get them in on trig. You need to get them in on algebra, Cal 1 and Cal 2. If you're studying and you're going back to school, you need to understand math. You need to go after engineering degrees in computer engineering, electrical engineering, computer science. People will argue all day long about computer engineering. Computer engineering deals with embedded systems. Electrical engineering deals with the fabrication of them. So you could go either or. Right? Most people tend to go computer engineering because you get a chance to do a little bit more programming, right? Computer engineering, electrical engineering, computer science. You can become a math major, but you will probably still need to back that up unless you're going to teach. Those are the ways that you want to go. If you want to get your certifications, I would say get your certification Linux, any cloud, pick a cloud, automation, Kubernetes, automation. When I say automation, that could be automation of the infrastructure, such as Terraform, configuration management with Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Salt. Then you can also start looking at what does it look like to secure a hybrid solution, whether you're on-prem or in the cloud, or whether you are in a multi-cloud situation, or maybe you're in a multi-cloud hybrid cloud situation. Again, you have to understand where this is going. If you're looking at anything else, you're probably going to be need to be looking at AI and quantum computing. I keep telling you where it's going. I keep showing you where the money is at. And here we go. Let's go to the quantum. Let's go to the next section. These investments support identifying and accelerating innovation in innovative technologies for clean energy. Solutions improving predictability of climate trends and extremes using high performance computing. I've said it thousand times, HPC, providing new computing insight through quantum information and positioning the United States to meet the demand for isotopes within funding for science. The budget provides $800 million to advance basic research needed to solve science and technology gaps towards the development of fusion power as a clean energy source in the U.S. The science budget also expands innovation into microelectronics and positions the United States to meet the demand for isotopes. The historic investment to strengthen the nation's nuclear security and protect the nation's weapon of mass destruction. The budget provides a historic investment of $25 billion and another $19.9 billion. That's from the Department of Energy alone. Close that out. All right, let's go here. I don't know why it won't let me do nothing here. Go there. Biden administration requests $3 billion for federal AI application development, procurement, and integration in 2025 budget. I talked about quantum. Now we back to AI. We back.
More money. More money.
The
More
president
money.
budget looks to fund the National AI Resource Pilot Agency's establishment of chief AI officers, AI talent surge, and AI development across agencies. Across agencies. Put a one in the chat if you're keeping up with this conversation. I don't know if they are. Let me pause. Let you take it all in. I think I've been mad ranting for 20 minutes. I can't hear you, D.
I said, yes, you have rattled off a lot of agencies. They're definitely going to have to rewind and re-listen to this video and take some notes. Hopefully they like me and they took a whole lot of screenshots because it's been gems and bombs dropped left and right.
Right? $3 billion.
And what's crazy is, and AI is not new.
It's not. I hate when this won't close. There we go. All right, here we go. All right. The Biden administration $7.3 million budget request for fiscal 2025 released on Monday. That's why I'm bringing it to you today. I didn't want to do a little lineage today. I want to give you these gems. Looks to provide $3 billion for federal agencies to use artificial intelligence and proposes $300 million to increase the agency's fund for technology. That's right, Lambo, get the likes up. Let's keep going. The budget looks to advance the goals of laid out in President Biden's executive order on AI by outlining $30 million for the National AI Resource Pilot (NAIRR), $70 million for federal agencies to establish chief AI officers, $32 million for AI talent surge. $32 million for AI. Where you at though? Where you at though? Where you at though? The budget provides $3 billion across agencies in order to responsibly develop, test, procure, integrate transformative AI application across the federal government and support the implementation of the administration's executive order. The budget also proposes $300 million in mandatory funding to increase the agency funding for AI, both to address major risk and to advance its use for public good. Significantly, The budget provides $65 million in support to Department of Commerce AI Safety Institute, which is set to create guidelines. Security folks, say it in the back. Hey, security folks, looking for people to set guidelines, tools, benchmarks, best practices to evaluate and to mitigate risk using red teaming and other methods. I don't know. Maybe I will be looking at jobs with the Department of Commerce. I don't know. Sounds like a good place to start to me. You don't have to stay at the help desk with the math. We can fix that. There's always back doors. All right. $65 million to the Department of Commerce, the AI Safety Institute, which is set to create guidelines, tools, benchmarks, and best practices to evaluate and mitigate risk using red teaming and other methods. Pause. Red teaming and other methods. Red teaming and other methods. Oh no. Yeah, whatever. Get out of here. Do. Red teaming and other methods. Here we go. Red teaming. All right, you at SANS.org, you probably gonna start off with some intro to cybersecurity, right? Some hacker techniques. Then you get a choice here: pen testing or web apps. Then you got advanced pen testing. Then you got cloud pen testing. Oh, look here: social engineering, blockchain, software supply chain, iOS, Metasploit. You could go down Metasploit for free. Start playing with that. IoT, wireless. Adversary emulation, Windows tool development, security automation, kill chain defenses, detection engineering. If you don't know what none of these means, you can go click on every last one of these and they're going to give you an example of what they mean and what they're talking about. And you can go into a rabbit hole and find out what classes, what skill sets they have that you need to have and so forth. Start with the free stuff, build up to it. Let somebody else pay for it. The OMB spokesperson shared the budget seeks to bolster AI and tech talent throughout the government, giving $32 million in funding across the U.S. Digital Services or U.S. Digital Service, General Service Administration, and OPM to bring AI talent into the public sector and advancing AI priorities across the federal government. Where they at though? The AI talent surge is bringing dedicated people into the service to leverage AI to improve government services, make smart policies and regulations around AI to protect people's rights, safety, and privacy, and further AI research and development so the United States continues to lead the world in cutting-edge AI innovation. Woo!
Take a breath. Take a deep breath. I don't hear it. I don't hear the deep breath.
I'm gonna put this on the community wall. I'm going to go do it now. Cause I don't want you hitting me up talking about what's today. And you know where these links came from, D?
Mm-hmm.
Where they come from?
Slack.
They right there in Slack.
Slack. It's a whole Fed scoop. Get drop some all day, every day.
Here, I just posted it for you. It's on the community wall now. All right. But wait, there's more. Well, I want you close. All right.
This is a lot of money that's being out here. It's a lot of money.
You know,
This is my palms are itching. This is a lot of dough, man. This is a lot of dough. Make me tense. I got the chills and got a heat on my feet, and I got the chills.
I'm still here. Y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Like they say, turn my sound up a little bit louder, a little louder.
No, they don't. They don't. They
Y'all
don't.
y'all been quiet tonight. What's going
Silent.
on? It's 48
Silent.
people in here. Let me get these lights up. Can I get my lights up at least?
Silent.
I mean, you ain't gotta like me, just like the information, right? You ain't gotta like me, just like the information. Right? Just give me my likes, man. That's all. A sister ain't asking for much. Just get my likes up. Just get my likes up. I can't, God.
I know,
Gosh,
you know.
look, gosh darn it. Gosh darn
Golly
it
to
there.
heck.
Gosh darn it. Just get my likes up, okay? Gosh darn it. All right, let's go. White House wants $75 million for technology modernization fund in fiscal 25, down from $200 million in 2024 request. The $75 million request is a significant decrease from the prior budget of $200 million from fiscal 2024, a figure that the House appropriators have tried to zero out, and $300 million in fiscal 2023. So we got another $75 million going in to support the federal tech modernization projects through TMF. The $75 million request is a significant decrease from the prior budget of $200 million. They're trying to figure this stuff out. TMF. This invests in federal IT projects since the inception across 48 investments and 27 agencies. Though these numbers are a bit higher as listed on TMF's website, meaning you can go to the 27 agencies out there. They also get funded. Go check those 27 agencies out for yourself, right? So you can go to TMF website. You don't know what TMF stands for? Technology Modernization Fund. So here we go. We're going to highlight that. We're going to cut. We're going to paste. We're going to do it like that. We're going to hit it like that. And now you know where to find stuff. Who does what? Why? Who? What? Who is the impact? Who be asking for money? Who do we invest in? The agency we invested in. Oh my goodness. If I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, who's these agencies, Tam? Do they have jobs? Do these agencies have jobs? Oh, they may have jobs. Guess what? They probably all got websites. They probably all got some servers somewhere. They probably got some security there. I don't know. Maybe I would go look at those agencies for what? I don't know.
And I'm pretty sure we'll get a message like, what were those 27 agencies that you talked about on the live?
Right? The U.S. Department of
ignore
House. The U.S. Department of Housing Development. I'm assuming I got U.S. Department of Housing Development, Urban and something.
HUD.
I know. Homeland Security, U.S. Department of Interior, Department of Transportation, Department of Labor, Department of Justice, U.S. Equal Employment Office Opportunity Commission, United States
.gov.
Office of Personnel Management, Railroad Retirement Board, Department of Energy, Department of Justice, Social Security, Selective Service System, Postal Regulatory Commission, National Transportation and Safety Board, Armed Forces Retirement Home. I didn't even know that existed. National Archives and Records Administration, GSA. What is this? Oh, the Federal Trade Commission. There you go. Get busy. Don't say I didn't tell you. I didn't show you all the agencies. There you go. What was that number? 800 million plus invested in 51 projects across 29 agencies, 40 investments made with the American Rescue. I don't know. You say you're looking for a job. I don't know where you're looking at. They've invested more than 750 million in the fund has invested in IT projects and so forth. 2021, they issued $1 billion into the Rescue Act, trying to get people back to working. Once you start getting federal people back working, you start generating money for other things, and that generates the economy. That's usually how that flows down. All right. What they say, D? I'm gonna let you read that.
Biden budget requests including $13 billion for cybersecurity, continuing upward trend.
Came out March the 11th. 13 billion in cybersecurity.
That's today.
So if you're looking for a job, 13 billion came out. All right. So CISA would get 3 billion. And now if CISA got 3 billion, what you gonna do? And you in cyber and you looking for a job.
And it's 10 more billion out there. This is one agency got 3 billion.
CISA would get 3 billion under Biden's admin budget request, including funding to implement new cyber incident reporting rules.
Okay. So now, so we have the people that, are going and they're forging a career on cybersecurity. So I want to make sure that we highlight what in cybersecurity that they should be going to go look at, because, just being in cybersecurity is so many things. You can have a general understanding of cyber, but
Well,
what is this money going towards? Are
well,
you going to, position yourself to prosper within cybersecurity to get some of these ends? I need to know.
well,
Grandmother
we
said
are
these ducats.
well, we already talked about GRC or compliance. We talked about that pot
We did
over
do
there,
that
right?
part, but everybody can't go over to the GRC because
Right.
you
So
mentioned GRC.
right, but we also talked about uh let me say it this way so people can understand it. AI and quantum are considered a threat to national security. So if you are not going into AI or quantum and you're saying I'm security, I would be looking at what is quantum security. I talked about this on the show. Google it, type in what is quantum security, what is AI security. What is, if we're talking about, hey, I've got to build out these windmills, I got to build out this clean energy, who's going to secure the data? Who's going to secure those? Basically, they're just edge computing, right? The edge devices. Who's going to secure those? How's that data going to transfer? Remember, three things about data. Data has to be secure at rest, transit, and in use. Rest, transit, and in use. How do you secure data at rest, transit, and use? How do you transfer data, right? So you got to have all of that. Like you got so much out there. You got energy that needs to be secure. You have infrastructure that needs to be secure. Security of bridges, excuse me, security of water and water supply, food supply security. So there's a whole supply chain. There's a whole supply chain you can go down and be in security from that perspective. Supply chain of your code. Where's your code coming from? How do we secure that? We have a whole list of things that you could do in terms of what AI and security looks like. And if you all keep going down the same road, talking about, I'm going to get my security plus, and once I get my security plus, I'm going to get a degree in, I don't know, some general degree in cyber.
I'm going
You
back to
need to
school
be,
for cybersecurity. I'm getting a master's
you
in
need to be
cybersecurity.
strategic. I showed you this weekend on how to be strategic with the company that you pick. I've showed you how to be strategic with the skills that you get. You need to be strategic on how you actually educate yourself as well too. You can work in tech and make and be a multimillionaire for in 10 years, even less if you're getting jobs that are paying 3 or 400,000. 300,000 times 5 is 1.5 million. You could work a job paying you 300,000 for 5 years. Do you need to get skills? Absolutely. Will people say you can't get a job in tech making 300,000? Sure they will. But the jobs are out there. We know they're out there. We've seen them. I've even brought up the fintech jobs. That's another sector. If you think fintech is not one sector, fintech is another sector. It's a huge sector. Why? Because we're dealing with quants, we're dealing with trading, we're dealing with data, we're dealing with speed, you're dealing with commodities, you're dealing with algorithms. People are not going to stop trading just because you became a quantum engineer or AI engineer or you did cloud security and AI. I mean, they ain't going to stop trading because of that. Be fruitful and multiply. Right? While Congress still hashes out the details of cybersecurity spending for fiscal 24, the Biden administration request outlines several increases for key cyber programs. The Biden administration is seeking $13 billion in cybersecurity funding across civilian departments and agencies. Across civilian departments and agencies, according to the White House fiscal 2025 budget overview release. That would represent a major increase over 11 billion pegged for civilian cybersecurity spending in 2024, 11.3 billion on the same activities in fiscal 2023 to the White House analysis of IT cyber spending. I'm going to click on that, open that up. The Biden administration has requested $12.7 billion for federal spending in the fiscal year of 2024, but those plans have been kneecapped by the lack of budget nearly midway through the fiscal year. The 2025 fiscal 2025, the White House has directed agencies to prioritize investments in secure by design, technologies, zero trust architecture, and modernization of legacy technology. The CISA is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. What's that agency again? It is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency. The proposal includes $3 billion for the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, $103 million increase over the agency's current budget. The budget documents released by the Department of Homeland Security show how CISA request includes $1.7 billion for what? It's cybersecurity programs, including $394 million for the Joint Collaboration Environment (JCE), and the JCE allows CISA to fulfill this mission, centralizing and synthesizing cyber threat and vulnerability data across the state and federal and private stakeholders. The CISA's 2025 budget also includes 469.8 million for the continuous diagnostics and mitigation program. The agency would use CDM funding to complete the mobile asset deployments, continue cloud asset deployments, initiate Internet of Things, IoT activities in the assessment management, continue to fill gaps in the identity and access management capabilities, and align the agency's zero trust use cases. If you don't know what zero trust is, my advice to you is go sit down and read what zero trust means and then break it apart. Maybe I'll do a show on zero trust. Maybe we'll do a show on zero trust on a Monday night. Okay, the CSA budget request includes $116 million to do what, D? I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Hire people.
To add new staff, update existing programs, and implement new technologies to prepare for CIRCA or CIA. The agency specifically plans to introduce unclassified ticketing system, integrate a customer relationship management tool, expand its threat intelligence platform, and develop an incident reporting web app. I'll pause so y'all can take notes. Where my cyber people at? How many people out there? This is an interest of you for cyber. Put a C in the chat. Put a C in the chat if you're out there for cyber. Put a C in the chat. See where my cyber folks at.
I mean, from the influx, everybody's in cyber.
Put a C in the chat. Oh, we only got 2 people tonight. 3. We only got 3 people here for cyber, D.
That's hard to believe.
I guess everybody in here for Linux, or you in here for cloud, or you just chilling.
You just chilling.
You can put a C for chilling. Let's get busy. Beyond CSA, the proposed budget includes an additional $25 million for the Justice Department and FBI to work on cyber and counterintelligence investigative capabilities. About $5 million will go towards the office within the DOJ's National Security Division. The Department of Health and Human Services proposed budget, also includes cyber initiatives, including what? $800 million to help high-need, low-resource hospitals cover the upfront costs associated with implementing essential cybersecurity practices. Ooh, who needs help at the hospital with their cyber? What healthcare needs their help with cyber? Yep, they did.
All these legacy systems.
As well as a $500 million for initiative program to encourage all hospitals to invest in advanced cybersecurity practices. The list keeps going and it's going and the list keeps going. D. All right, we're gonna finish it up. We're gonna get through this. $140 million for HHS to strengthen its own security of its own systems. This includes $11 million to what happened? I don't know what happened. Okay. I don't know what happened. This includes $11 million to expand and enhance capability to protect the privacy and security of health information. Yo, HIPAA. I'm just trying to get to the numbers. Meanwhile, agencies continue to advance their plans under the federal zero trust strategy. The Treasury Department budget will allocate $150 for its cybersecurity enhancement account, an increase of $50 million above the fiscal 2023 year. AI cyber overlap. In the wake of President Biden's executive order on artificial intelligence last fall, the 2025 budget proposed includes plenty of AI related spending. Much of it intersects with cybersecurity and AI. For instance, the budget will allocate 455 billion for Energy's department work on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and resiliency in the energy sector. These investments enhance the department's computing capabilities and support the development of AI testbeds to build foundation models for energy security, national security, and climate resilience, as well as tools to evaluate AI capabilities, critical infrastructure, talent, so forth. And 5 million to DHS to open a new office responsible for coordinating the use of AI across the department while promoting innovation and managing AI risks. DHS and CIS play key roles in the advancement of cyber of security of AI systems under Biden's executive order. Mm-mm. Oh, this is that article where it was doing the funding, and it broke it down right here in the millions, and it talks about every last one of them who's asking for money. I'll go through this. It's 6 pages. I'll go through this and pull out highlight the main points here. Let me download this. I'll put it out and highlight the main points. All right. Your favorite login.gov is just where your social security comes into play. It's one of the accounts you can use to log in on login.gov and the IRS.
This login.gov. Everybody should have had an experience with login.gov in the last 3 years, and it has expanded its reach. But this right here is a process.
They're getting ready to embrace facial recognition.
As much as these folks get hacked, they don't need to have none of that in the thing. It's bad enough they get you on the phone with somebody and they're like, hold that up. It's terrible. It's a terrible process.
I don't know. I ain't never had to do that.
Yeah, because most of the stuff I fill out.
No, you didn't fill that out for me for my social security.
No. I'm talking about for businesses, like the government contracting side, in order for us to have logins.
Oh yeah, I don't know nothing about that part.
I know you don't.
Yeah, on the other side of the house, I don't have that problem. So be ready. This is how GSA and users can mitigate risk. I don't know how they mitigate the risk of your information, but this is how they're planning on getting mitigated risk.
Your authentication on that end.
Get in the camera, and now somebody stole your facial recognition, their biometric scan, and now they like, "Ooh, make me a new card, a new social security card out of your information."
Oh, new fear unlocked. You already know how to like it.
All right. Microsoft didn't talk about this, but Microsoft when they got hacked, they got the passwords to some of their executives. They didn't want to talk about it.
Bet they didn't.
All right. That came out February 7th. Update on the defense industrial base crucial sector. The recent national defense industry industrial strategy highlighted the erosion of the U.S.'s industry capacity for making things. Goes back to my electrical engineering conversation. You're going to start, and you saw that as I was talking, they're pumping money into colleges because we got to get back to some traditional engineering, which includes printed circuit boards, PCB. The National Defense Industrial Strategy highlighted the erosion of the U.S. capacity for making for making things, which includes printed circuit boards. At the complex end of electronics, such boards are types of parts needed for advanced weapon systems and artificial intelligence. Now there are signs that domestic PCB industry is awakening. For a rundown on recent developments, you can hit up this conversation here. But there's a need for electrical engineers, and there is a need for small device engineers. I mean, understand embedded engineers and small devices. High-end boards that you would find in aerospace and defense application are still made here in the United States very often because it's required by the Department of Defense. Just a FYI, in case you didn't know. All right. The DoD CIO developing guidance for securing AI systems. That's a thing. The DoD wrote the risk management framework overlay for securing overarching AI environment. It's vague, but what to look for and how to do security. Right? So you can go look this up. The risk RMF overlay for securing AI environments. So you can go look that up and see what their guidance is. What does it look like? Does it make sense? And so forth. AI RMF developed by the National Institute of Standards, or NIST in this case, is valuable guidance for securing AI. There are need for more complex approach to address the broad spectrum of issues related to the nascent technology. There are a lot of concerns that are not cybersecurity, and there are a lot that are cybersecurity. I think I'll augment my cybersecurity guidance to make sure that any system built using AI or AI system is covered in the information, and is covered and the information is protected. Like I say, data in use, data at rest, and data while moving. Transit. All right. I think we looked at all of that. We looked at that. Let me see if there's anything in here, D. We can wrap it up. Okay. Yeah, there's some stuff in here. Okay, let's get busy. All right, let me blow this up because this talks about what I'm talking about on the academic side. So President Biden's invest in key education priorities to accelerate academic achievement, increase career pathways, expand access to mental health, make post-secondary education more affordable, and support educators and more. Right? So if we hop down into here, President Biden's budget raises the bar in education by investing in evidence-based strategies and partnerships that improve outcomes from cradle to career. The U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. With these investments, we can deliver an excellent education to all students, improving learning conditions, build pathways to colleges and careers, increase post-secondary education affordability and access. They're looking at expanding access to multilingual programs, increase school-based mental health services, and meet the needs of children and youth with disabilities. The 82.4 billion discretionary budget. Did I go silent? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Because I heard it clicking. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. All right. The fiscal year 2025 budget, in discretionary budget authority, a 3.1 billion or 4.0% increase from the fiscal year 2024 continuing resolution. Okay, achievement, academic excellence. The new proposes $8 billion in mandatory funding to support states and schools to meet critical needs of their students by increasing student attendance and engagement, providing high dosage to tutoring, and expanding summer and extending after school learning opportunities. $18.6 billion for Title I to close opportunity and achievement gaps in the nation's schools and help sustain programs that support students' academic recovery from the impacts of the pandemic. A $200 million increase from 2023 provides 14.4 billion for individuals with disabilities. That's a $200 million increase. Part B, grants for preschool and disabilities, 5 million increase. A 5 million increase for Part C, grants for to support infants, toddlers, and so forth. 10 million increase. Newly invested 25 million for school readiness through preschool incentive demonstration program, while encourages schools districts to establish and expand free and high quality preschool. Boldly improve learning conditions. We got 2.9 billion into the education preparation, including 30 million into Hawkins, 95 million into teacher quality. They got partnerships at 125 minutes to their shortages, 200 million for full service community schools, 216 million for school national activities, and the list goes on. Creating pathways, 940 million to support English learners through research-based and effective bilingual education. 1.5 billion. I wonder what this 940 million right here is. That don't sound like it's for me. Includes 1.5 billion for career and technical education state grants, an increase of 40 million, and a 57 million investment in career connected high schools programs to redesign our high schools to build career and pathways and align with our post-secondary system. Expanding access to higher education by reducing costs for students and investing in student support systems. So the list goes on. The list goes on. D, I'm done. With 8 minutes to spare. I didn't say this show was going to be 30 minutes. I didn't say that.
I didn't even say anything.
I just
I'm
want to be
here.
clear. I just want to be clear. So did y'all get anything out of tonight?
No, they didn't. They didn't get they got absolutely nothing. And if they have questions, I expect them to be at the meetup on Wednesday.
It's a scam. Heather said it's a scam. Scamming you. All right, D.
You go ahead. You know how I feel.
Y'all, I probably talked. I know for a fact we talked about 27 agencies.
Minimum. Minimum. It was probably 50 agencies missing.
I talked about quantum security a while back.
Mhm.
But I'll pull this up for you. Here it is.
Go ahead and make sure you put that on the community channel.
Customize. All right, quantum security. Here is an article you can go read about quantum security. I'll put it on the community channel. But you can go look up Qantas. You know what? I'm gonna help y'all out.
And at the end of the day, I just hope this, invokes thought and your thought process when it comes to, prospecting your career path. We can do the one-on-ones all day, but if you don't know where you want to go, what that looks like for your future, how it affects your family, then there's only so much that we can tell you. If you want to be in cyber, there's been more than enough information given on what is lucrative and where that's at. You have to find out if that works for you or not. And if you're already in an industry, how does the information that was given pertain to that industry when it comes into, and I think somebody said it as well. I got to scroll up, but somebody did say they had to see how AI and quantum looked for healthcare and what that looks like. But at the end of the day, all of these industries, especially healthcare, especially banking, they're running on a lot of legacy systems, and those systems need upgrades. But just making sure that you position yourself to prosper when it comes to where you're going to be in that whole ecosystem of things.
I agree. I posted the quantum security on the wall. You can look up all of the stuff when it's Biden signs the memo to combat quantum security computing threat. They're looking to make the United States the lead in quantum security and AI and keep the edge.
Right.
What significance does this mean to you? The significance is makes the dollar stronger. This other significant is just I mean, let's call it what it is. Um, every every country seeks to have world domination. Let's be clear. And every country wants to be on the cutting edge of whatever that is, whatever that looks like. And it's just what it is.
Yeah, and down to earth, it pertains to every industry. Each of these industry in each of these agencies touch on a different industry. I'm in telco, and based on what we're doing, most definitely a lot of legacy systems. Things are changing when it comes to networking, how where customers are going. If you're in the telco industry, in any industry, when they have those quarterly meetings, make sure that you go. You have time. They will set aside time for you to go to the quarterly meetings, to those what do you call that, those town hall meetings when they speak about that stuff. And also Google your company and see what is going on with your company. Are you guys facing layoffs? What's changing? Who are you partnering with? What are they, leaders in the field?
Yeah. So here's how quantum computer, and this is from 2019. How quantum computers boost the future telecom infrastructure. So it's already work being done on quantum and telcos and what that looks like. You can go through a slew of stuff here just by doing. I just typed in telco and quantum and let me arrange this by the past year. And so here it looks like we go back to 2023 here. Telecommunications infrastructure in the future, quantum impact of quantum technologies, quantum in telco. There was an article on LinkedIn about that. I mean, the list goes on. So you could find stuff like European telcos prepare for quantum hackers. It is a race for quantum because once someone, and they have it was public. They have already hacked AES encryption. That has been done. It is not public, and people would like shut that down. And you could probably find AES encryption hacked by quantum. It
And
was
to
it
me,
was
everything
it
that
was
sticks out
quieted
is
down.
infrastructure. Enterprise infrastructure is not going anywhere. It needs to be strengthened, fortified,
To
protected
stop
at all costs.
To stop quantum hackers, the US just chose these 4 quantum resistant encryption algorithms. I mean, this gets really, really deep and not a lot of people talking about it. Here go the Department of Commerce coming up again. If you want to be on cutting edge and just be employed and just do research on stuff like this, you could be employed and just do research on stuff like this and start making patents and get your algorithms and stuff like that and just be quiet and just get paid off your off your patents, right? You get paid off your patents. So, that's just one way. Um, there was one other thing, and she got highlighted. Let me look. I'm gonna pull it up here in a minute. Hold on one second. Let me. She got highlighted. Okay, here we go. They don't have it on here. Let me go back. This is fine, but they honored her on one of the federal sites. Miss Gladys West. They honored her on one of the sites, and I'm sure y'all know who Gladys West is. At least you should know who Gladys West is. Hold on. I had my thing right there. I just over here and type Gladys West. Y'all know who she is. So here's Gladys West. She is one of the ones on Hidden Figures, and she discovered she helped invent GPS, right? And they have on some of the federal websites her accomplishments, her information, and things that she's done. It looks like Britannica has some stuff. I'm gonna do this for Britannica. Doing this for Britannica. Gladys Mae Brown, rural Virginia. Her parents owned a small farm in the area, mostly sharecroppers. In her community, the only clear options for a young girl in the future were continuing to farm or working at a tobacco processing plant. She went to Virginia State University where she earned her degree in mathematics in 1952. She later returned for her master's degree on the subject in 1955 after spending time teaching math in a racially segregated Virginia school and after applying to a series of jobs in Virginia's segregated state government that were instead awarded to white men. In 56, she was hired as a mathematician in the U.S. Naval Proving Ground. I know exactly what it's at. A weapons laboratory in Dahlgren, Virginia. As their fourth black employee, there she met Ira V. West, another black mathematician on the base, and the couple married in 1957 and had 3 children. Dahlgren was admired for her ability to solve complex mathematical equations by hand. She eventually transitioned from solving those equations to herself to programming computers to do it for her. One of the first major projects was the work on the Naval Ordnance Research Calculator, an award-winning program via 100 hours of computer calculations to determine the movement of Pluto in relation to Neptune. So she's been at it, and they honored her on the websites and so forth and so on. And I just want to make sure you all know the importance of math and the importance of being in the know of where money goes, where money looks like, where money gets divided up into, and here we are. So telecommunications, infrastructure, embedded systems, high performance computing, natural language processing, IoT devices, quantum, wind turbine, clean energy. Go be fruitful and multiply. When you say you can't do math, don't use that as an excuse. Find an alternative way in those sectors in order to get in, but get into those sectors. And then if you need to get a tutor after you made your money because you want to go back to school and somebody else is paying for it, then you could do that. But again, get in the game, be a part of the game, make your money and continue, right? If you don't want to do that, like people say, hey, you can always start a YouTube channel and go from there. Ba-da-bum-bum. I'm done.
Again? You done
Mhm.
again? All right.
All right, y'all be safe.
Have a good
And,
night. Thanks for coming.
and remember, have fun on this journey and make a lot of money.